Which is better, online dating or cold approaching? Odds are you've probably got a pretty strong opinion about this either way, but what I wanted to do in today's video was just talk about what I've experienced as dating coach, coaching both cold approaching and online dating. And I've been coaching in this field for 12 years now. And I want to talk about what I see in guys and what guys experience and what kind of guys do well in cold approaching, what kind of guys do well in online dating, and which might be better suited to what kinds of guys. So if you'd like to know what really goes on, what the journey is really like to get great at either of these two modalities, keep watching. So right off the bat, I want to say that there's no obvious winner for all cases. It's true that you're going to find, as I talk about these today, that you may find that cold approaching or online dating may be the best option for you personally, but I think it's important to understand there are a lot of misconceptions about online dating. There are a lot of misconceptions about cold approaching and what's involved about mastering either of these two. And I want to help to kind of disperse some of these as well. So let's get talking about really what the experience looks like and what are the pros and cons of both in the real world. So I'm going to start with cold approaching because cold approaching is close to my heart because it's where I personally started on my dating journey. It's also where I started my company with its coaching journey as well. When I started my company 12 years ago, the very first thing we were teaching was guys, teaching them how to cold approach. So what can I say about cold approaching? I've got to say this. There is nothing that isn't an illicit drug that can match the feeling of walking up to a really cute girl, a hot girl in a bar or club, a girl you've never met before, talking to her, bantering with her, seeing her start to slowly over time give you the eyes, right? See her kind of look at her friends like, holy crap, who is this guy? He's interesting, right? See her smiling at you. Tell her you really want to see her again and get a number and have her be like, yeah, I'd really like that too. To walk away from a girl who half an hour ago you didn't even know existed and now she's looking forward to going on a date with you. I mean, there is nothing that they reach that kind of high. I still get the chills thinking about it even now because it's just so exciting. But as incredible as that experience is, the reality is that it can take you some time to get there. And how long that is radically different for every guy because every guy who starts trying to learn how to attract women starts at radically different levels. You know, it depends on, some men, they grew up with learning humor and banter. Some men grow up around sisters and they get really good at communicating and connecting with women. Some guys are tall and good looking. Some guys are really confident. Some guys are unconfident. Some guys have really massive limiting beliefs getting in the way. Some guys have huge amounts of self-doubt. Some guys have really crappy relationships with their mothers and so they struggle with that. Some guys have a lot of shame around sex or shame around expressing what they want, and the list goes on. There are lots of positives and negatives that we can grow up with. I grew up in a household where my dad used to tease a lot, like not in a bad way, but in a sort of a fun bantery way. So I grew up around teasing all the time. So teasing for me, banter, came second nature. I never had to purposely learn to banter, and that served me really well when I was first learning to attract women. But not everyone has that, right? So some guys have to learn it. So I often say to guys that on average, if you've got a dating life that's really not working for you at all, you should expect this journey to take a year, right? A year of work to get to the point you want to get to. It's not a quick journey for most men. Yes, I get some clients who come to me and within, 2 weeks, a week or two, they're already killing it and going on dates like mad, right? That happens. Of course it does. And any dating coach website you go to, he'll put those testimonials first and foremost, right? So it looks like every guy who goes to him gets those results. But the truth is it takes time for most guys because you've got a lot of emotional hurdles, a lot of things to grow through and deal with to get to that point. Now, I can already hear a lot of guys typing away in the comments saying, oh my God, David, who the hell should be investing a year of their life just for women, just to get better with women? That's outrageous, right? What a beta cuck thing to do. So, here's the thing. 90% of what you learn when you're on this journey to cold approach women, to become really great with women, 90% of it isn't about women. 90% of it is learning high-level social skills and overcoming personal boundaries and barriers around success, around your own sexuality, around dealing with rejection. All of this stuff applies to every other part of your life as well. So the journey to become great with women is actually a journey that leads you to become a far higher quality man in every part of your life. It is a massively life-enhancing endeavor to go on, nothing to do with women. So even if you go on to become celibate the second you've really worked on this stuff, your life is going to be 10 times better than it ever could have been had you never learned this stuff in the beginning. So it's not really just about women. Like, learning about women is the kind of the catalyst that gets you onto this journey, right? But once you've gone through it, it's like nothing else. And that's why so many guys who I meet who are really great entrepreneurs, like myself in this space, not just in dating, but in all different areas, because I'm around a lot of different entrepreneurs, you'd be amazed how many of those guys started life learning to attract women by cold approaching. That is not a coincidence, not one little bit. Now, I know there's the elephant in the room. Some of you guys are going to say, wait up, Damien. Yeah, cold approaching is great if you're good looking, but if you're not, you're screwed. I can't say that looks don't matter, right? I often compare looks to the size of a man in a fight. So if you see two guys about to engage in a street fight, and one of them is a 6'1" bodybuilder, and the other one is a pretty slim 5'8" guy, who are you going to throw your money at, right? Who are you going to put money down for to win this fight? And it should be easy. You're going to throw it down at the 6'1" bodybuilder because, duh, he's got a greater reach, far more strength and leverage behind him, right? Yeah, it's a no-brainer. But what if instead you were looking at a 6'1" bodybuilder or a 5'8" MMA fighter? Now where would you throw your money? Okay, because now it would become complicated, wouldn't it? Because you know that the 6'1" guy just goes to the gym every day but doesn't know how to fight, and the 5'8" guy is a mixed martial artist who fights for a living. You know he's going to kick that guy's ass, don't you, right? Right, he is absolutely going to, because experience counts for a huge amount. And it's like that with looks in the dating field as well. If you see that street fight and the 6'1" guy is a mixed martial artist, and the 5'8" guy is also, you're going to throw your money at the 6'1" guy. Why? Because he's still going to have the advantages, right? So it's still easier for a good-looking guy who's tall, good-looking, to do better with women. That, hands down. But a 5'8" guy, myself, for example, who is charming and has great banter and is a lot of fun to be around, is going to run circles around a boring 6'1" guy who's really good looking. That's just how it works out in the dating field, because a lot of women, you'll be amazed how many women, they still want a guy to be fun. They still want a guy to be engaging, and looks alone doesn't cut it. It will for girls who are like 20, 21 sometimes, because they're just like, oh my God, he's so cute. And they don't think about anything else. But once women get over about 23, 24, they start wanting more than just looks on average. There's always exceptions. And so, yeah, you'll find that. And I'm not just sort of lying about this. I've been doing this for 13 years, so I see this all the time. The amount of times I get, like guys in clubs getting really pissed off because some little Asian guy is stealing women from him. He's like, how the hell is this possible? That's not right. And he gets really annoyed about it because he's drunk and belligerent. That happens a lot, and it's quite funny to see, but it happens. Now, I get that not every guy really has the time to invest like a year of his life working on this stuff. And not every guy really wants to embark on a journey like this. He's got other things to do. He doesn't really want to go on this journey. And that's why learning cold approach isn't for every guy, because not every guy wants to face these demons. Not every guy wants to go through all this. For those guys, we've got online dating. Now, online dating, at the face of it, seems like such an easy alternative, right? You can hop online and message thousands of women right now who are available, who are publicly saying that they're single. I mean, how easy is that? But this is the problem. Because it's so easy, especially emotionally easy, right? Any jackass, and indeed every jackass, is going online and contacting the hottest women they can find, because rejection doesn't really hurt so much online on the whole. And so every guy's doing it, which means that attractive women are getting absolutely flooded with messages from guys, which means that these women have to start to become like mini celebrities where they wall themselves off and make themselves really hard to get through to and just ignore most people. And that is unavoidable. It's because it's so easy to do in the first place. Now, this is often the problem with online dating, is that competition is fierce. But while the competition is fierce, and there is a lot of it, a lot of guys on there, the competition is not actually very sophisticated. So this is really the thing about online dating, is that you can, if you are, and this is important, with online dating, you've got to be average or better looking. With cold approaching, every guy can do quite well at it. Obviously, it's better if you're better looking, but even below average guys can still find women, plenty of women to date cold approaching. Online, however, it's not the case. You've got to be average or better to do well on online dating. And the reason for that is that you have to be able to create a profile that demonstrates you to be a really high quality guy. I don't just mean looks, I mean everything. And that's an art form. To create a profile that grabs a woman's attention isn't just about being the hottest guy. It's about having a profile that looks incredible, looks like $1 million, that makes you look like this is the kind of guy I'd like to get to know. And what I've experienced that any guy who's average or above can pull that off. It's easier for a really attractive guy to pull it off, but an average or better guy can still do it on his online dating profile. And that's so important on online dating because women's experience, like men's experience often of online dating is I go on and lots of women ignore me. Women's experience of online dating is they frequently describe it like wading through a pool of shit, hoping that you'll find a golden nugget. Because really that's what women experience. Lots of really horrible profiles, guys saying really dumb, irritating stuff that turns them off instantly, right? Every woman you talk to about Tinder says the same thing. And so if you jump on and you are funny and witty and you've got a great profile that grabs her attention, something different, a little bit unique, and your conversation is fun, she's going to want to go on a date with you because you're going to look like the gold nugget in that world of crap. And that's the effect that you need to create on your online dating profile. For those of you, and I know you're there, who are right now saying, that's bullcrap, Damien. You can't take a regular guy and make him do really well at Tinder and get him out on dates. You got to be a super good looking guy who's super wealthy to get any kind of results. And for those of you, I want to direct you to a video. I'll link up to it up here. I think it's up here, where I basically take a bloke I know here who's doing terribly on Tinder, and I absolutely turned his Tinder around. So he started to go on lots of dates and get lots of fantastic results. He still does to this day, months later. If you want to check out that video, go ahead and check that right now. Now, online dating has some other really positive things to say about it as well. First of all, you can do online dating anywhere, from anywhere, at any time, wearing anything. You can be sitting on your couch, in your underwear, eating Cheetos. I know who you are. And you can be online dating, flirting with the hottest girls around. No effort there required. The other thing that's really great is that you can automate a lot of the process. So you can actually you can pre-script answers to common questions you get, like really great answers that are fun and engaging that get women responding and engaging with you. And you can literally copy and paste those into your online dating profile. You don't have to use a lot of cognitive effort like you do. You don't have to be so great on your feet, which is really, really cool if you ask me. And if you do have a really fantastic profile created, it's a little bit set and forget. Because if you're starting to get matches and results and you're copying and pasting, there's very little work to do to start going on lots of incredible dates. But, and this is a big one, the journey isn't as simple for most guys as guys want to believe. And what do I mean by this? A lot of guys, what they do is they'll hear me talking about online dating and they'll say, you can get results. This guy seems to know what he's talking about. And then they go and they work at their online profile for a month. They might even go and get some good photos taken. And then they'll say, see, it doesn't work. I'm still not getting results. That's because a lot of guys don't realize that online dating is online advertising. Okay? And online advertising takes time to work out what really sells. So if I have a new product that I want to advertise on Facebook ads, for example, I have to create 5 really amazing looking ads, and I have to market those ads to about 100,000 people and look at the results. And odds are none of those ads will do as well as I want them to yet. So then what I need to do is work out what I've learned from running those 5 ads, create another 5 ads, advertise those ads to another 100,000 people for a week or 2, then look at those results, and I still might not be getting the results I want to get. So then I got to look at what I've learned from those ads, create another 5 really good looking ads. Get where I'm going here? Even though I know what I'm doing with online advertising as well, I still have to create lots of different variations of an ad for a different kind of product to work out what is going to make my audience click and resonate, right? So it's different kinds of colors, different kinds of copy, like what's written on the ad. Like, do I want to have a facial expression? Do I want to have a picture of me, not a picture of me? Like all these different things that you could do as an ad. That's what your online dating profile is. So just having a good looking profile may cut it and may get you lots of matches, but it may not, right? There's an art form to it. And so it can take time. And I sort of tell guys this. Online dating, getting a really good, solid online dating profile can take you about 3 months to get there. And that's if you know what you're doing, you're really working hard at it, not like kind of being passive about it, but really working at it. Even better if you've got someone like me helping you along. That's about 3 months, which is way shorter than the year you're going to have to invest in cold approaching, but it's still much longer than most guys realize. Most guys want to invest on that online dating. So that's kind of the I guess the playoff between the two. If you hate bars and clubs and you don't want to have to overcome a lot of the emotional stuff and you don't want to invest a year of your life working on a skill set, cold approaching isn't for you. Online dating is a far better option. There's one other drawback to online dating, and that's this. With cold approaching, if I go to a bar, I might talk to 4 women. Now, that doesn't seem like many, but what I mean when I say I talk to 4, I approach maybe 7, 8 women in a night, and I walk away from 3 or 4 of them within 4 or 5 minutes because I don't want to waste time with women who aren't my kind of women. So I'm sussing that really quickly and leaving. Then of the 4 that I have long conversations with, I'll get solid phone numbers from 3. I'll meet up with those 3. And then I will probably sleep with 2 of them within that week. So it's very time efficient. I'm out for 4 hours on a Saturday night. I get those numbers. I go on 3 dates. 2 of them I have sex on. Great use of time. With Tinder or other online dating apps, what I experience is that it's much harder to work out if a woman is really your kind of chick because just typing, having a bit of conversation online is really hard to gauge. So you end up going on far more dates that aren't your kind of woman, right? So you end up sort of wasting a lot more time trying to screen women on these dates. So there is a sort of a time wasted at the other end with online dating as well. But the truth of the matter is for a lot of guys who don't want to have to go through that emotional journey, online dating is better. As long as you're average or above, that's the journey you should be going on. And so this is what the real world, I guess, experience of guys looks like. Either way you go, if you want to be better with women, you're going to have to invest time. You can't shortcut that process. And I know a lot of guys they want to get the results in one weekend. And I know dating coaches have promised that, right? You can get results in one weekend. No. I even when I'm teaching like cold approaching to guys, it's a 3-month course you do with me. There's no weekend boot camps here because I know this stuff takes time. Even with a great coaches who know what they're doing, have been doing this for over a decade. It takes time to learn these things. There's a lot of emotional stuff to get through. Now, if you are interested in mastering your online dating profile, I highly recommend you check out my School of Online Dating right now. And the reason you should be checking it out right this second and not procrastinating is that you can still, as of now, at least for 1 week of this video, you can still get access to my COVID special, which is essentially this. If you sign up for the program, you pay for the course, the School of Online Dating program, and you complete it within a month, you can get your money back. Basically, you just say, hey, Damien, I finished the course. Can I get my money back? And that's part of the special we're running right now. We're doing it because I want to help guys out through this crazy period. So this is your opportunity to do the whole course for free. Of course, I totally would love it if you leave a little bit of money on the table and maybe only get a partial refund, but that's totally up to you. We're doing this as a charitable thing to help guys right now through this period. So if you want to take advantage of this for the next week at least, I highly recommend you go and check that out in the link up here. I'm going to show you how to do everything, how to create an incredible profile, get great photos, write something that's going to grab women's attention, how to message them and get them out on dates and ensure they don't flake. I'm going to show you how to do all of that in this program, so check it out. For the rest, guys, which do you prefer? I know you're all aching to tell me. Write in the comments below. Do you prefer day game or night game? Have you done both? If you've done both, do you have a definite preference? Let me know, because it's interesting to hear different guys' opinions on what's worked for them and what hasn't. As always, guys, if you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and check out some of my other videos, because if you like this one, odds are you're going to think they're pretty kick-ass as well. As always, guys, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in my future videos.